Alright, that's fine. Is it now Twitter now twitching Twitch it. There we go. Alright. How was your 2 weeks?
Um, Honestly, I spent all my time moving. I haven't played video games in like a month.
Uh oh, so like my whole 2 week, oh play whatever is gonna be nothing.
It's gonna be me talking about how I watched The Wire.
Oh wow. I I think my dad wanted to watch that. We watched one episode and then that's all we saw of it.
Dude, you gotta give it another try. It's literally one of the best shows ever.
I want to watch that and The Sopranos. That one I needed to watch because I heard so many good things about it.
Yeah, I personally like The Wire better. Sopranos was good though. It's like really well done. Um, there's a lot of funny scenes in it too. But like the thing about Sopranos to me is none of the characters are likable. Like there's funny characters, but like I literally wouldn't care if any of them got killed because they're all such pieces of shit.
I think that's what makes like a good like gangster story because it's the same way with like Boardwalk Empire. Like some of the characters are not likable. So that's so the that reminds me. There's a show that was on HBO that was really good. It was a really good show. It's done by the same people who did Boardwalk Empire and all that. It was called Vinyl, and Vinyl. It was about the music industry of the 70s and 80s in New York. So everyone in the music studio was doing drugs and all this stuff, and every review was like, "Why would I like this show? This guy is doing cocaine every time. Fuck this show. This show, no one's likable." And it's like, but that's the point. That's what makes this show great.
But so I would say though, The Wire is great because there are characters that are criminals or whatever, and they're sympathetic. So you're like, I actually like this character, even though they're like a drug dealer or a murderer. You're like, oh wait, but they have sympathetic like qualities. You know what I'm saying? And then there's
Yeah.
even things that's like there's cops and they're like complete pieces of shit, and you're like, I hate this character, even though they're like on the side of the law. And it's funny because you'll see a character, and then you'll be like, you think you like them, and then 2 episodes later, like, wait, I completely hate this person.
It's the best part about Vinyl was that it had the guy from Everybody Loves Raymond, Ray Romano. They had that guy, and he was a
Yeah,
likable character. Like he was like I feel like he was like the sympathetic character that was stuck with all his bullshit to deal with. But it's like the last episode was well made. It like it had this one shot with the FBI that wanted him to do like a sting operation, and it's filmed in such a way where he's like in this big red table, and he's like in a corner. It made him look like he was in a corner, like just backed against the wall. And then when the camera would pan to the FBI agents, they were just kind of like close to the camera. So it made the table look really long, but it wasn't a long table. But it was just it. You should watch it. It's on HBO.
I'm
Uh,
thinking about it now that you're mentioning it. Is it a David Simon show? Who did it? Who
I don't
directed it?
I
Or
don't know
written?
I don't know the names. I know
I
there was an episode that painted an homage to David Bowie. And I don't know if it was controversial for like, oh, it's controversial because it's David Bowie, or it's like they did him. I don't know, but they had him there, and everyone kept talking about how David Bowie was in the show, and I was like, oh, well, he's there.
Wait, he was like actually in it, or it was just like
I
a biopic about him?
I I think he was just in one episode, just in passing, because like I think they wanted to do a record with him, and that's why he was
Huh.
there. Uh, I don't know if it was like him himself or just a person playing him.
Oh, okay.
Because
I might have to.
I don't remember if the controversy was just how they portrayed him, or it was like he just died and they had this episode air like soon, and it was like, this is a little weird timing where he's like, he just passed and you're having an episode like this with him.
Oh,
I don't know if it was like that kind of deal.
I'll definitely check the show out. It sounds cool. You said it's called Vinyl.
Yeah. It has
Okay.
it's such a rad show, and like it's kind of bullshit because HBO was like, "Yeah, we don't care if the show bombs, if it fails, if it sucks. We will greenlight it and we will like support it." This show
Right.
didn't do well at all. All right, canceled. It's like, what the fuck? And that does low-key piss me off. Like that I still have not forgiven HBO for. It's like, I'll watch the shows, but I will never forgive you for canceling the show. I think if it had a season 2, people would have come around to it.
But canceling Vinyl specifically?
Yeah, because like they were not happy with how it performed. Because I think it didn't do enough. Like no one watched it on their streaming service or on TV. But it's just like, and the reviews just weren't good either because everyone hated the characters. All the characters were not likable because he just did drugs all the time and all the like. But it's like that was like the era of New York. Like,
Right. Yeah,
but
it
it's just,
sounds fun.
man,
I have to check it out.
yeah, it's definitely worth it.
Speaking of shows, and I think this will be a good conversation because I don't think we've ever talked about this, but I think Breaking Bad is one of your favorite shows, right?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite, but I hold Fargo higher than that. But
Okay.
Breaking Bad's really
Uh,
good.
I'm gonna have to say something that's gonna probably it's gonna be controversial
Uh oh.
because I think Breaking Bad is a very well done show, but I don't like it that much because I cannot stand Walter White.
I kind of get it. I kind of get it though.
I think he's an enormous piece of shit, and like everyone talks about, like I've read like recaps of the show, and people are like, "Oh yeah, like I'm rooting for Walter." I'm like, I wanted him to be taken down from the beginning.
I don't think you're supposed like. You kind of do want to root for him in the sense that he's like an anti-hero, which is like okay,
But
but
he's not a hero at all. He's a complete scumbag.
well yeah, but like but that's what an anti-hero is. Like he's not a character you're like rooting for. He's like you're not supposed to like what he does, but it's just like it's a film trope you just have to look up. But
But an anti-hero, because I take issue with this because I love anti-heroes, because like an
okay,
anti-hero is like the Punisher, right? The Punisher is a murderous lunatic, but you're like, well, he's killing worse people, right? Walter White, there's nothing sympathetic about him. He's like, he has cancer at first, and then it goes away. So he's dealing drugs for no reason,
but
and he like
but the reason why why the cancer goes away, it does highlight a pivotal part in the character because he initially got into doing to like making drugs and all this stuff to support the medication and all this stuff so that his family does not get burdened by the debt. When it goes into remission and all that, it's like, okay, so why are you still making meth? And by the end of the show, it kind of goes into that by him saying like he just loved doing it, like he got good at it, he enjoyed
that's
it.
what I'm saying.
But you're not, but you
So
don't,
his motivation was bullshit the whole time.
but you didn't know that when it during the show though. Like the whole show
He
is
did. He literally says, I don't remember the exact quote, but he literally, when he's talking to his wife, he's like, "It was all for me. Like I just wanted
but that
to do it."
that was at the end of the show though. That's when he said it. He didn't say it at
But
all
you,
before.
but he like said it because even in the first episode, or maybe it might be the second episode, when like he's in the street and he thinks the cops are gonna catch him after he gets out of the RV, he's like doing a recording or something, and he's like, "This is not to admit guilt or anything." And it's like this guy doesn't even take accountability, like he doesn't take accountability for shit. And like, okay, here's the thing that really bothers me, and I don't know if you're in this camp, but so many people talk about Jesse as being a piece of shit. They're like, "Oh, Jesse's such a scumbag," blah blah blah. But Jesse's just a petty criminal who Walter like manipulates to be on this journey with him, and has this awful life because Walter's like, "Jesse, you got to do this," and like makes him dependent on him. Like One of the most scumbag things Walter does is when he lets Jesse's girlfriend choke to death
Oh
on her
yeah.
own vomit.
I
He's such a piece of shit.
the reason why I think a lot of people hated Jesse in Breaking Bad is the last season. It was just so frustrating. All that had to happen was Walt, because Walt wanted to talk to Jesse anyway. He was like, I need to talk to him to like apologize or whatever the fuck. That's all that he wanted to do. Jesse goes there. He's like, he's freaking out. He's like, oh shit, he's gotta kill me. I gotta book it. He just does everything that.
But why would he not think that? He just killed Mike. Why would he not? He is perfectly reasonable to be be paranoid.
I kind of want. I kind of want to rewatch the show because I just remember watching this. I was like, there was because something does happen before that meetup where it's like Jesse he had the wire on him anyway. He had Dean Norris with him. Like he had like
Yeah.
all these people with him. And if if Jesse just wanted to like see like, okay, I'm gonna ruin him or whatever. I don't know. Like it was just the whole tension between him and Walt that season was just frustrating, just on both sides. It was just like Walt did shit that was just fucking stupid, where it's like you're being overly paranoid for no fucking reason. Like
I mean,
that.
they run the meth organization in all of New Mexico.
Yeah,
they
but
have to be paranoid.
Yeah, but it was just like he had Mike that was telling him like you need to fucking stop and all this stuff. Like a seasoned veteran. Like
Yes.
this is what I mean. Like this is why I did not like Walt in the last season as much, if at all. It was just like you have no reason to doubt Mike. He's just like, look, you're fucking up. We should just count our chickens and go home. And he's like, no, we gotta keep going. And then he kills Mike, and Jesse's
That's who. But that's what I'm saying. That's who Walter was the entire time. Literally every step of the way, it's like this keeps escalating for no fucking reason.
But I think that's like but that's like what I like about Walt is that he's such a him being a piece of shit made the show for me. Because you wouldn't have half the conflict you had if it wasn't for him being the way that he is.
That's why I hated it, because I always hate the character that's like, actually, the solution is simple. Just stop being who you are, and everything would be fine.
But it's easier to say said. It's easier to see that than to do it, because it's like an addict. You can't say like, well, if you want to stop drinking, just stop. It's like, but he's drinking all this time. He can't just say I'm gonna stop drinking and just stop. He has to like find other ways to help him. And I just think that he became addicted to doing the shit that he was doing, and he never bothered to learn, and that's what made it interesting. I don't think that he's a great guy that's a genius. I just think that he liked the chemistry of it, but it's like a guy that wants to get to business, but he's not a good businessman. Like he wants to open all these restaurants, but he has no idea how to do it.
It's a white guy power fantasy where he gets to kill a bunch of Mexicans and run the drug organization instead of them.
Yeah.
Fucking, it's so funny because you like it for the same reason I hate it. It's just like this guy's just a dirtbag egomaniac, and it wouldn't bother me as much if he wasn't the protagonist and didn't have so much plot armor. Like there's certain things where it's like, especially in the first season, when they get like kidnapped by Tuco, it's almost like a comedy show. It's like, uh-oh, watch out! Like Walter and Jesse are kidnapped, and his brother-in-law comes and kills the guy. Like it's like this is too convenient. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny you say that, because I do feel like a lot of the first season felt like it felt like Vince Gilligan just watched Fargo and was like, I love this movie. I want to do this, and then he just kind of does it, and then like everyone loves it, and then he's like, shit, how do I continue this? And then he just kind of goes in these other directions, which is probably why I like Fargo the show way more than Breaking Bad. I just think Fargo, each season is its own self-contained story, so it allows it to like you can have a lot of bad seasons, but you can always come back to it and be like, well, I don't like this season. I wonder what the next season is gonna be. Like, I didn't love season 3, but I enjoyed season 4. But all that's so, like, it's goofy and dumb, but it's also smart at the same time. Like, it's just interesting to see, like, things snowball the way that they do. Breaking Bad, the first season, I get what you mean because it feels exactly like that, where it's like this seems kind of goofy, and it's like it's done in the same kind of tongue-in-cheek way that Fargo does it, where it's like it
Mhm.
does something comedic but plays it in a very serious way, so it's kind of
Yeah,
silly how it plays out. But then like Breaking Bad just kind of took itself seriously as it went on, and it's like okay, like because like
yeah.
that everything in the first season is not there moving forward. The only time it gets kind of goofy was Walt threw a pizza on the roof, and it's like okay, yeah, that's funny, but the one thing I liked that Breaking Bad gave us was Better Call Saul. That was a show. I When I first heard it, I was like, they're just gonna capitalize on Saul because Saul was like the comic relief that everyone loved. Like
Mhm.
they loved Bob Odenkirk and all this stuff, and it's like they're just gonna milk that probably. And
Yeah.
I just had low expectations, but it was way more interesting than I thought it could be. Like the first season was kind of the one thing I hated about the first season. The first episode had the worst fucking actors. I just could not like wrap my mind around it. It was these two kids that Jimmy McGill was like hanging around with, doing like scams with or whatever. And these were the worst acting people I've ever seen. I was like, this guy did Breaking Bad. He could have gone like fucking Brad Pitt. And he gets these two kids that felt like they're like, whoa, man, Tuco's here. And it's like,
I
oh,
have been
okay,
watching.
like,
It's funny because I like Better Call Saul, but I don't like it that much. And it's so funny because I was like, let me pick it up again because I think I stopped watching like season 3. Like I started season 3,
hmm,
and I was like, okay, let me pick this back up. And then I was like, because I was like, I want a good TV show to watch. Like I was moving out, so like I wanted something to watch while I was like taking care of stuff and like moving things around because I wasn't playing video games. I haven't played video games in 2 months. Everybody. And uh, so I was watching Better Call Saul, and I was like, you know what? I would rather be watching The Wire because The Wire is one of my favorite shows, and I just rewatched the whole thing.
oh man.
So,
Uh,
I rewatched The Wire. I highly recommend it. The thing that's great about The Wire is that you can almost choose your protagonists because every character has the same reverence. Like that's what I love about it is that like in Breaking Bad, for instance, it's very obvious that like Walter is the central character. Everything kind of revolves around him. But in The Wire, there's all different types of characters, and you can really. There's scenes in The Wire where I'm literally rooting for two different factions of people who have completely opposite motivations. Um, and that's what makes it so brilliant to me.
that I
I
I
can't.
remember
Oh,
seeing that too a little bit in like the first episode. Uh, I started rewatching Mr. Robot
oh yeah,
as
that's a good one
well.
too. I never finished it though.
It's it is. I was rewatching the first, so I just finished the. I think I finished the first season, and I'm into the second season now. Like I'm about to finish the second season. The the first season, I found a much deeper love for it, where the before the twist, where they show like, oh, his dad was actually his like alternate personality. Like it's not he's not
Yes.
really there. The way they filmed it is so clever. It's like because like once any other show, if they have a twist like that, it's like when you rewatch it, you already know, like, okay, yeah, I see the
This
tricks
is
they did.
obvious. Yeah.
But in like Mr. Robot, it does it in a way where it's honest about it, where it's like it's played so well, it's not obvious that he's not there. Even on like on multiple rewatches, it's not like it doesn't stick out as much. It's not like wow, like those characters don't react to him because he's not there. It's like no, they do say things that could react to anything else. It just
Yeah.
it's clever in how they hide it, and then it's also clever when they revealed it. They treated the viewer like that they're not an idiot. Where it's like you knew this already, so why didn't you tell me? It's like this is a nice like payoff because it doesn't treat the viewer like an idiot. Like if you didn't know that was the twist, that's cool. Like you're like okay, like whatever. But if you were smart enough to guess that he wasn't there, the show is like giving like a pat on the back for it.
Yeah.
There is a twist at the end of the show, and I'm watching it now. There's a few things that's starting to stick out to me now. Like there's uh one line that he says, and I don't th- I have to kind of rewatch it all the way through, but I don't think, from what I remember, I don't think they ever address it, because there's a part where it's like, why hasn't Mr. Robot said anything? Why is he not here? Like, why is, like, there was this thing that he said that nothing is accounted for this period of time, and not even Mr. Robot knew. Like, both of them didn't know. Do you care about spoilers for Mr. Robot,
No,
or
I don't give a
okay?
fuck.
The final season shows that there was another personality he had that was
Oh my god.
so deep in his mind that like no one knew. Like, and now I'm like knowing that, seeing that, I was like, was that the third personality that was going on? Like, and I think it might have been four, because I think they also said that the friend he's talking to, like, which is the audience, is another personality that he's talking to as well. So there's,
Yes.
because I think it gets so trippy by the end, because it's like the real Elliot is the one that's buried deep inside Elliot. So it's like,
And that's why I only got into like the second. got to like the third episode of season 2. There's only 3 seasons, right?
four now.
4. Maybe I got to season 3, but I remember. Well, the reason I stopped watching it is because I started overthinking everything. Because I was like, wait a second, what part of this is his delusions? So like I had it like it was like hurting my brain to watch the show actually, because like you said, the twist is pretty brilliant. Like it's always so obviously there. You're like not even surprised when it happens, but it also like really like reveals a lot about what was happening, because it's like half the shit wasn't really happening. You know what I mean? And then,
It recontextualizes everything. It's kind of like Ava. If you watch Evangelion one time, it's like, wow, and then you watch it again, it's like, this is totally different.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, I can't even watch. I like had a tough time watching the show, so I was like, I need to like take a break from this, and then I just never picked it up again. So that's another one that I need to watch again.
Oh,
You know what's another show?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say this before the vacation. I watched this one movie I was hyped for all my life. Ava 3.0 1.0. Uh the thing I loved about that is that it brought up the show. Like, the show was like something done in the 90s. And then this movie series was done in like the 2000s. Like, it's been like decades between the two. And for the longest time, people were debating if the rebuilds were connected to the show, if it's like a sequel, a prequel, or what. Like, what is the deal with this movie, or is it just something unrelated? The final movie just literally just connects to the show in a very weird way. Like, it's kind of meta with it, but I thought about this because you were saying like how like Mr. Robot was like hurting your head, just by like all this stuff it throws at you. I was
Yeah.
watching Ava 3.0 plus 1.0. As it was getting to the end, that started to hurt my head. I was like, oh my god, what the fuck? Like, it talked about like this, okay, the main character's dad has a lot of social anxiety, he doesn't like people, all this, like, goes through all this like depressing shit. And then it's like, oh right, but actually they want to start a new world without any of this bullshit. Like, this other it's just, it's so like surreal how it like just ties everything in. There was a documentary that they did about the making of this show, which is even more fucking trippy. Like, it was more like depressing as well, because the creator was going on and on about how when he ended the original series, he got so many death threats about it. He's like, yeah, I don't like the ending. Everyone said that I should die. They were giving me details on how they were gonna kill me, and it's like depressing. After he did like Ava 3.3, he wanted to just stop making the movie that he was doing. He was like, I just want to stop it with this. I don't want to do it anymore. So there was like a big hiatus. He during that time he worked with Miyazaki again to do The Wind Rises. He did the main character for that movie. Uh, and then after that, he was like, okay, I'll go back to making Ava. He finishes it up, and it was this big like thing. The interviewer asked him like, do you have any love for Ava? Like, do you still care about this show? He's like, no. After this, I'm done. It's like okay, great. but
Yeah.
but also speaking of like stuff we've watched, I've said this many times. My favorite thing when I go on flights, just watching the in-flight movies. I love seeing the trash that's there because it's like you're there for like hours. So it's like, what are you gonna
All
do?
right.
What are you
As
gonna
well
do?
watch. So is this about what you watched on your way to Greece?
Yeah, I'm gonna do the
Okay.
way to Greece on the way back because the
Okay.
way to Greece, I was kind of bummed out about the movie selection. It was all good movies, and I was like, oh
You wanted
man,
crap.
it was the stuff that I've seen already. It's like I've seen like Tenet, I've seen this, I've seen that. Like I don't want to watch the same movies. But I saw this one movie. I saw two movies. I saw this one called I think it's like Old Super Ordinary, which is a British movie, but it is just kind of dumb. But the comedy is kind of like kind of funny. It got a few chuckles out of me. There was a scene. It's about this person who stopped doing exorcisms because like she did an exorcism and it killed her dad in this like freak accident. Like it's so dumb what they do. It's like, all right, if you see an animal, like it's like if someone's like about to die and they're like in agony, they would kind of guide the soul to death, pretty much. Like that would be the point.
Okay.
Like they would kind of put the soul in another person's body, so they would have like a last like few words or whatever. So
Okay.
they get a call where this dog is like stuck in like a pothole or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, she wants to talk to her dog." Okay, so the dad tells her daughter, "Well, since you're in the family business, I'll have you do this one for once." So she puts the dog in the guy's body, so that the dog and the person can have like a lasting like talk before it goes to heaven. The dog, the last thing it does, it runs in the middle of the street and it gets hit by a car. So the dad dies. It's so dumb.
Wait, the dad is in the dog's body? What the
It's
fuck?
it's the dog dies and it's like as like it's so fucking dumb how and convoluted how the dad dies. But after that, she was
What's
like,
this
after
what's this
that,
movie called?
it's called like Super Ordinary, I think, or Ultra Ordinary. It's one of those two. But it's like that happens or whatever. But the ending is it. So it's about this guy who wants to summon like Satan or some demon, and and it's like we gotta sacrifice a virgin, like every other fucking demon. Like oh, we gotta sacrifice a virgin, whatever.
Yep.
So the main character, who's a woman, is a virgin. So it's like oh, she's gonna be the perfect sacrifice. So they're like oh shit, they're gonna sacrifice her. What are we gonna fucking do? The love interest of the movie is like I know what to do. I'm gonna fucking have sex with her. So he fucks her, and it just ruins the plot. Like the end, like it ends
Oh,
everything
so he
because
ruins the sacrifice.
yeah. So the demon's like fuck this and just goes home or whatever. Like it resolves that way. It was just like this is so stupid. That's like the only thing. It's like it's so dumb.
Was this like a major film? Like did it go out in theaters? Was it
No,
like a big studio?
no. I think it's an indie movie. Like you could tell it's done like a very small budget.
Yeah.
So that movie, it was dumb, but it was like enjoyable. So it's like whatever. It's like flatline. There was a documentary I saw that was actually really good. This one was interesting. It was about Nickelodeon. It was called like the
Oh,
Orange Years. So it went through every like era of
era.
Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
I kind of fell asleep in the middle of it, but I was there for the ending and the beginning. I loved it.
Theo's review. Oh, it was a great movie. I fell asleep during half of it.
Well, look, it was a 9 hour flight, so and I was trying to stay awake, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go to bed, and I went to bed. I fell asleep against my will, but anyways, that was beside the point. They had this guy who was the guy was hosting Double Dare, and they were talking about like the Nickelodeon studios in Florida, and he was talking about like that they had the dressing room like these like catwalk for people to walk by and see all like everyone in the dressing room to do that get ready or whatever. And he was pleading with the company like please just get rid of that catwalk up there. We can't be ourselves. It's like it feels like we're always on. It feels like a zoo. Don't like get rid of it. And they're like, no, we're not getting rid of it. We're keeping it. And he's like, okay, fine. And it got to the point where his job started to like interrupt his family life. So he was like, okay, I'm done. I'm done doing Double Dare. And he left because of that as well. Like
Okay.
it's interesting to see like it because I was kind of like saying, I was like, this movie is just gonna be a big commercial for Nickelodeon. Like, oh yeah, Nickelodeon is great. Look at what we did. I was
Oh, it's
thinking
trashing him, huh?
it was both. It showed the highs and the lows. Like
Okay.
it got to Ren and Stimpy, and it kind of was like they did not mention what's that guy's name?
How
Like
much of a piece of shit John
yeah,
Krasinski is, or
like
whatever the fuck his name is?
I think they had like one like scene where it's like, yeah, this guy was a piece of shit, and then moved on. Like so it's like
But
yeah,
that could be a whole documentary in itself, though.
which there is a
Yeah.
documentary on it, which is great. I love that documentary. It's so depressing, but I like it because it's like it shows the passion of the animation team, but just how much of a piece of shit that guy was. And
Yeah.
the one scene of that documentary that lives in my head rent free. This woman, I loved what she said. It was like, yeah, this guy thought that he was hot shit, but we did not even want the show he pitched. And it was like, because Ren and Stimpy wasn't even the show he pitched to Nick. He pitched this other show that all these ugly ass kids. It was a show about all these kids, and it just happened on the pitch sheet. It had like a cat and like it had Ren and Stimpy like in the corner somewhere. Like they weren't the main characters.
Uh-huh.
This woman was like, I like Ren and Stimpy right there. That should be the show. This other stuff, get rid of that and have this. And that's how Ren and Stimpy was made, because he was like, okay, I'll focus on that.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So her just saying his original pitch fucking sucks, and like, and we wanted these other characters that he didn't even like put any attention to, and
Yeah.
I was like, that to me was such a sharp stab, and
Yeah.
because this was when he wanted to go back to Ren and Stimpy, and this was what he was trying to get the rights so he could do that terrible adult.
Adult
See,
party
yeah,
cartoon. Ugh.
and when he was like trying to get the rights back, they was like, "Fine, take them, bye." Like
Yeah,
they
we don't
just
care.
yeah, they just kind of like showed him the door because he was being an asshole about it. He's like, "I made this show and you should give me the rights." Like, fine, we didn't even want the show you pitched and all. Like, but yeah, that I just love. That was such a deep stab because I was like, you put so much effort into something, and the thing you want isn't the thing that gets greenlit, and then like it's so like ah. Anyways, that documentary, the Orange Years, is pretty good. I don't know where you could find it on streaming. I don't know where, but it's a good documentary. The flight back. Oh boy. Oh my god. Like this now we get to like, so I watched two movies. I watched Spiral and I watched not Super Ordinary. It was Breaking News in something county. That one my brother recommended to me because he was like, "Oh, you like bad movies? This is pretty bad too." I
Wait a second. Do you do bad movie reviews on your channel? You should do that.
no, I it's kind of a saturated market. Everyone does
Yeah.
it. So I kind of want.
I mean,
I guess. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I'll think about it. But I guess which movie between those two movies, which one I thought was more entertaining?
say the names again.
Spiral and
Okay.
Breaking News.
Spiral is a horror movie, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the Book of Saw. It's like in the Saw franchise
Right.
with Chris
And
Rock
then
and all
I'm
that.
guessing Breaking News was more entertaining.
Yeah, you got it
Okay.
right
Well,
because
I have no idea what it is.
Spiral is a piece of fucking shit. I feel so
Really?
bad. I left that movie feeling terrible for Chris Rock and Samuel Jackson having to participate in that movie.
Were they at least good in it?
They were good. It was just a wasted talent. It's like you
Yeah.
had well, I think Samuel Jackson didn't give a shit. He just kind of turned in a performance.
I think Samuel L. Jackson stinks. Actually, I think
Okay.
Samuel L. Jackson. I think Samuel L. Jackson is riding the coattails of his performance in Pulp Fiction for his entire career. Because ever since that, what else has he done that's like brilliant? Everything else is just like, I'm gonna say motherfucker. I'm Sam Jackson. There's nothing else.
Afro Samurai. I
Like, did he just
mean,
do a voice in that?
he did 2 characters. He did his imaginary friend, and he did the main character and the dad. He did 3 characters.
You know, he was also good in the Spike Lee movies he did before Pulp Fiction.
I
So.
I think with Samuel Jackson, I as much as I like the actor, I just think he just somewhere along the lines he was like, I don't care what movies I'm in anymore, and he just kind of just did movies. Like he was on.
It's not his fault. It's people's fault because people want him to. They want Sam Jackson to show up and call someone a motherfucker and shoot them with a shotgun.
But he could be in good movies to do that. He could be in like John Wick. He could like do whatever. But he does like Black Snake Moan. He could do like Snakes on a Plane. I guess was like something else. But Black Snake Moan. I saw that in Greece. Like Greece had that on like. This is gonna be a slight tangent about Greece. Greece,
okay.
I used to love Greece because they would play weird I used to love Greece. I mean, I'm talking about like the TV culture. That's what I meant. I should
throw the whole country out.
I should walk it back a little bit. But they used to play like stupid Greek shit in the morning. At night, they would play random fucking American movies that I don't even know they existed. It's so weird what I watched. I loved it. I was like, I don't know what movie this is. It's in English. I love it. It's great. And it was actually pretty interesting movies. But this was like their final year of doing anything because they did like, Black Snake Moan. I watched that and I was like, this movie is. It felt like it wanted to be like a porn, but it was like, this could be a movie. This doesn't need to be a porn. This will be a movie, and we'll just change. I don't remember the main story, to be honest. The only thing I remember is there was this girl that gets kidnapped by Samuel Jackson, and that's like it. I don't remember anything else.
Wait a second. Is that the one where he's with like Christina Ricci lives in his house or something?
I don't remember. I don't remember like. I don't know any of the actors. He was the only actor I knew in that movie, and it's like, yeah, he either
Did the main girl in it have like a really round head?
I don't know. I don't. She was like, I don't fucking. It looked like she was like in a nightgown or some shit.
He like.
Yeah,
or something?
Yeah, it might have been that. Yeah, that makes more sense. But you know, they could have made that into a porn. It could be like one of those like very fetish territory kind of things. But that's what it felt like, and I was like, this movie sucks. Why was he in this? And at that point, I was like, Samuel Jackson's career is whatever. But then after that, Grease stopped doing that. Grease stopped doing good movies at night. They did whatever the fuck they wanted after that. I was like, okay, I'm done. Like it just kind of became boring. And then we got streaming, and it was just at the end of that.
Right.
But anyways, on the way back, when I was watching Spiral, this is what made Spiral fucking dumb. So it's about like these deaths that were happening that they were like, oh, this might be a Jigsaw copycat. The opening starts with this guy like with his tongue stuck in a trap, and it starts the same way as Saw does, where it has like Jigsaw like, I want to play a game. You have played with people's lives, blah blah blah. Like you would do that. This fucking killer sounds like a fucking clown. He's like, I'm going to play a game. And I know you've done bad stuff, like lie on court. And if you lie, like since liars use their tongues, it's just, the voice is so stupid. It was like, this is the guy that's gonna kill people. Like, he sounds like a fucking baby. Like, it's
that would suck to get killed by a baby-voiced asshole.
Yeah, but like,
that's pretty scary.
It wasn't like, it's not even like the creepy scary kid. It's not like a creepy kid. It's like a 12-year-old like doing a prank. Like, I'm going to cut your tongue off. It's like, okay, this isn't even like creepy. It's just like, if I was like being like killed by that guy, I would be like, this. What? I just wouldn't care. I don't know. It's so dumb. And the trap,
like, I gotta kill. This is the guy that gets to kill me. This is fucking bullshit. I would be pissed.
But the traps are also stupid. Like, the traps suck. The traps are set up in a way where you'll die anyway. It's like there's no option. Jigsaw, like, the traps are like, you can live, and you'll survive. Like
You have to kill someone else or something.
yeah, like there will be a consequence to living, but it's something that you have to live with. This one, it's like, yeah, you'll live, but you might die later. It's like he'll lose his tongue. He can still fucking die because he'll bleed out.
Yeah.
He's in a fucking subway station, like underground. And he's like, yeah, you just have to like rip your tongue off and you'll live, but like if you don't, you'll get hit by a train. It's like,
Mm.
okay, if he does that, he'll just die from the loss of blood. Like, it just doesn't make these traps suck. There's no like thrill into them. But the thing that's awful. So Chris Rock is a detective in a police precinct. Chris Rock spends the whole movie complaining about the police. And it's so obvious this movie is a response to like all this like cop brutality bullshit. Because it's like he spends a scene talking to the commissioner like, I can't trust anyone in this office. Everyone here's a crooked cop. Everyone sucks. I can't trust anyone. They all try to kill me. And the commissioner's like, it is what it is. You gotta work with people. It's like a cop tried to kill him, and the commissioner's like, yeah, man, you gotta work with them. It's like this.
He's a detective affiliated with the police department, right?
Yeah, the
Why did
police
they try to kill him?
because so like there was a scene there was a scene that happened where like he witnesses a guy getting killed that's innocent. A cop kills him, and Chris Rock's like, you killed him? Why? He's like, he had a gun, so I shot him. The witness had a gun? What? And then it's like after that, like he was gonna get shot for that because he knew something he wasn't supposed to, and like his dad also worked with the police department. The dad knows that, and he's like, "Don't kill my son, you asshole!" And after that, it's like Chris Rock just tells him, this guy tried to kill me. This guy, like, the guy still works there, and the commissioner is like, you gotta work with him. And it's like, this is so fucking stupid. And what's dumb as well, every cop in this movie that does something like that gives the same excuse. He had a gun, so I killed. It's like, this is like a clown police station. It's so stupid. Like, the cops that commit these the brutalities all have different like excuses for what happened. These are much more like okay, this is more like stupidly like whatever. That's like that's real, whatever. Like
Yeah.
they lied, whatever. But then in this movie, it's like, let's take this and make it into a comedy by having them all say the same exact lie, have the same stupid acting, like all of them when they're like faced with that question, like he was a witness and he had a gun. He's like, yeah, man, he had a gun, so I had to kill him. It's like the same. It was so stupid. It was that
Yeah.
hearing Chris Rock complain about the same police departments. Like, does anything get fucking done? Like this whole police, like, it's such a dumb fucking movie. And then like the killer is like a guy that also works in the police department because he's like, I'm going after all the crooked cops and killing them one by one. It's like this movie, like fuck this movie. It's so fucking lame. I hated it. Everything
So
about it.
it sounds like everything was just too on the nose.
It was
Like it was not nuanced at all.
yeah, it was on the nose, and it was just so stupid. Just how like goofy everything was. Like
But also, Theo, I'm gonna have to call you on this because you went into a Saw movie expecting high art.
no,
Like,
I didn't. I like that's this is the thing. Like if I have like no expectations, like if I have like if I go in expecting either oh this movie's gonna suck ass or like whatever, and if it ends up being really good, like if I end up liking it, I'll like praise it, whatever. But if it can't even be a bad movie and it's even worse than that, it's like it's all like what was the point? What's the point of this
Right.
movie? Like because like Saw was dumb. I hate it. Like Saw 1 was the only good movie. After that the movies got so dumb that I loved it for how dumb it was. The only Saw movie I thought was just annoying was Saw 6 because that one was like healthcare, man. Am I right? It sucks. It's like
Any
Yeah.
any movie that has 7 sequels, it sucks.
Yeah, like
Like
this
once you get to Saw 4, it's like it's over.
th- I did like the last movie because of how convolutedly dumb it was. I just love that everything was a twist. Yeah, it was not this guy, it was that guy, but it was like it was so convoluted. I just enjoyed for how dumb it was.
It's so funny. I've only seen the first one, but I always like any movies like that that has 47 sequels. I like read the synopsis or something. So one time I was reading the Saw synopsis, and like apparently this is how what I remember. It starts out with one guy. That guy like gets killed in like the fourth movie, but meanwhile he's mentoring one of the people that escapes one of the traps, and she becomes the killer, and then a cop becomes the killer afterwards. Isn't that
Oh
what
my god,
happens?
yeah. That's exactly what happens. It's
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 like what?
so and then like the last movie has the balls to say like, yeah, remember the guy that like sawed his foot off? He was the real killer.
Yeah,
And it's like,
right.
okay, cool. But anyway, so there that was that. Spiral is just a very dumb movie. I don't even know. Like, I'm afraid if that I'll fall. Well, no, if it's on the a flight to anywhere, I'll watch it. But I'll never watch it anywhere else at this point. But that movie was just a misery. It was like this is so bad. The guy next to me was watching the same movie, and I was like looking over casually because I took break. I didn't watch this movie at first. I was just kind of like playing games and all this stuff, and I look over and I was like, oh, okay, he's watching Spiral, and it looked without any audio or anything, it looked kind of interesting. But I was like, okay, whatever. Maybe it'll just be a fun dumb movie. And I watched it. And I was
Yeah,
like, oh, this is even worse. The ending was so agonizing. It's remember that you've seen Fargo, the show.
I've seen a few episodes, and that's what I was gonna say. It's sad that
Mhm.
this movie sucked because Chris Rock, and I've seen a few episodes of Fargo, the season where Chris Rock's in it. I don't know
Yeah,
which one that is, and he's great in that.
yeah. He's a good
Yeah,
actor. I like Chris Rock. I mean
yeah,
he was good in Spiral. It was just that they just made his character was just complaining about the police the whole movie,
yeah.
and it's like you work there, why don't you quit if you don't like the if such about quit and do your own thing. I don't know, like it's whatever. But
Right.
the ending is like, if you've seen this episode, there's a part where in season one Malvo like ties the guy from Always Sunny in Philadelphia into like a workout chair that made him look like he's holding a gun, like because he was trying to create a diversion for the
Uh,
police. So
so
he
the
made,
cops would come in and shoot him in the face.
yeah, so like he made it look like that he was gonna kill him, whatever. They did this same trick in Spiral, but it was just annoying. It's like this could have been avoided so easily. It's like all Chris Rock had to do, like the guy that was doing the crime got into an elevator, a slow ass elevator, and as the door was opening, Chris Rock was like, he's getting away! Wait, guys! It's like, Chris, you could get up and catch him. Like, there's nothing stopping you. And he's just like,
Maybe he was lazy.
I well, I guess he was in shock because his dad was also like getting fucked up too. So it's just a bad movie. So that movie gets a 0 out of 10. Trash movie. I felt like I lost IQ points for that. Breaking News, on the other hand, was great. It was a dumb movie, but
Oh,
it was a fun movie. It was about this woman who did not feel like she was getting enough attention in her life, like her job. Like the first scene is like, yeah, today's my birthday, and my husband is gonna come up with a party for me or whatever. And this woman is just not listening to her at all. Like, okay, whatever. And then like all of a sudden it starts these people come in singing happy birthday and you're like, okay, it's for her. It's for this other girl. The birthday, she's like, oh, okay, like someone else had the same birthday as her. So that sets the tone where it's like she has no one cares about her. She goes home, talks to her husband. Her husband is like running away from her immediately. Like she's like walking into a different room to answer the phone. As she's doing that, he just gets up and runs away, just leaves.
what the
And then,
hell?
and as this is going on, she finds out that he's cheating on her at a motel. She catches him cheating on her. He dies, and then she files a missing persons report because he died from a heart attack. Because these are,
She caught him.
yeah, because he they're both in like their like 50s, 60s kind of age range. So like, I mean, whatever. Like, sure, he had a bad heart, whatever, but he died from a heart attack. And so she files a missing persons report to get all his attention, knowing that he died. Like he knows that he's dead, but he's just like, look at the attention I'm getting. Yeah, oh man, yeah, he's gone. Like I don't. Hopefully they'll find him. And as this is going on, her husband was also tied with some criminal shit. So these criminals are also trying to find him to get their money back, as well from him. So it's
What
this.
the fuck?
It's so dumb. And the movie ends with the wife getting away with killing a like with him dying, with her killing someone, all this bullshit that happened. She got away with it pretty much and got money on top of that. It's
So was this another shitty low budget movie?
yeah, yeah. It's like very
This is
indie.
the thing that I don't get about these shitty low budget movies is why do they always overextend themselves? Why don't they just keep it simple?
I think it's just that they just want to tell a story. Like this story, it kind of felt like a Fargo story, like a typical Fargo situation where someone gets in over their head, and it gets like
Right.
all this stuff getting on top of that. But I think at the same time, they probably make these movies to have a tax write off for it. It's probably some kind of scam that
Yes.
they're doing. So it's probably that. But
Yeah, that Hollywood accounting is a motherfucker. That's a subject we could talk about for about
yeah.
6 days. So, should we talk about video games?
Yeah,
You're like,
this was supposed to be a pre-show. By the way, everyone,
this is the show.
yeah, the pre-show crept into the main show, which is
Do we have any comments?
we got a few. We got DJ Filthy Rich who posted polar bear and peace signs. We got Ang that says yeah, but bad movie reviews can be fun. Talking about when we were talking about doing bad film reviews, which I get that they can be fun. It's just I don't know. Like I feel like that so many people do it. I kind of want to. I'll review bad movies. I think what it is. I I'll integrate them just as movie reviews. Like I'll just do a normal movie review with bad
Right,
movies.
right.
So
Yeah.
so technically I guess I could. Yeah.
I mean to say, like, just drawing attention to films that no one would ever hear about
Yeah.
is interesting. You know what I mean? Not just being like a hack and being like, "Oh, this
But
movie sucks,"
the
but
thing
being like, "This is some weird ass movie I saw."
but the thing is that the reason why I watch them on the flight is that when I'm at home and I have like all these streaming services at my fingertips,
You
it's
watch
like
good stuff.
yeah, why would I want to watch breaking news or Spiral? It's like I could watch like anything in the world, and I pick this.
Yeah.
So it's like the airplane situation just paints it in a way where it's like I can sit down and like I'll be forced to watch trash, like,
Mhm.
and it's like it's because it's time wasted anyway. It's like I don't have to be like, oh my god, I'm wasting time here. I can't. Like it's more of a burn. Like if I go to a movie theater and I watch a bad movie, it's like I spent money. I chose to spend the money, and I chose to sit in a movie theater for this movie, and it sucked.
Right.
And then if I'm at home, it's like I chose to took the time to watch this. On the flight, I have to go on a flight to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So the destination is the goal. What I do in between, it's like I have no choice. I have nothing else to do. So it's like what
What
and
about your Switch?
yeah, but like that has a battery life, and
Bro.
the charging stations that Delta has is trash. Like I tried charging my Switch and it kept like charging, not charging, charging, not charging, and all this stuff. So it's like okay, goodbye. But that aside, it had a perfect atmosphere, so that's why I didn't like no. And then like so then going on to continue, DJ Filthy Rich says, "Damn, I love the Saw series. Feels bad, man." That could be
Sorry.
sarcasm. It could be. Uh, then Anglate says, post the Lolimo DJ says, "White girl slave porn." oh, oh boy. Twitch. Leave me. We don't believe in that here. We're a family vehicle.
Family friendly.
Yeah. And then Stormlit Aqua says pre-stream over. Also I have a sub. Big ups. So yeah, shouts out for resubbing Storm. For 15
Let's go,
months.
baby.
15 months he's been subbing to my channel. 15-month streak, baby. Where is the Big Bun review for Persona 4 Golden Cartoon?
I'm
Hey,
out of here.
hey, that's the cartoon. That's different. That's different.
I will never. Actually, maybe. How can I find it? I'll watch it so I can just trash it.
You might have to pirate it. It used to be on
Okay.
Hulu. It used to be on Hulu, but not anymore. And
I'll
so,
see if I can find it somewhere.
I have watched the vanilla Persona 4 anime, which is it is like a
Wait
running
fucking
theme.
second. Hold up. They made 2 different anime.
Yeah, because
How different are they?
I don't know about the Golden anime. If I were to guess, it probably took the Golden story content and made that into its own story, dealing with Marie and that kind of stuff.
But like, is it a full length? Like,
No, I think it's a 12 episode series.
Oh my god, it's a series, motherfucker. I
Well,
thought it was a movie. I was like, I'll watch an hour and a half movie about this bullshit. Series,
Well,
I don't know if I can stomach it.
You say that, but there was a Persona movie, Persona 3. They did a Persona 3 movie, but that was done in like 3 or 4 parts. But that was the best adaptation of Persona I have ever seen. It adds to the story and it's actually enjoyable.
Look,
I love it.
I'm not gonna trash Persona 3 because I don't know, maybe it's good, but because Persona 4 is the most beloved game in the series and I absolutely hated it, I'm not interested. I'm not gonna find out.
No, what? Actually, okay. Oh my god, there's a few things I want to talk. This okay. So I texted you when I was coming back home. There was 2 things I was kind of eager to talk about. Like this wasn't like we need to do a game club tomorrow for, but it was stuff that I really wanted to share.
Yeah.
So on the flight to Greece and all that, I played this game called Tokyo Mirage Sessions, which is a Switch exclusive. It's done by the same like development as Persona SMT. Like it's to the point where like the name is literally a reference to SMT. It's SMT reverse, pretty much. It's TMS because Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Sure.
But it's with like Fire Emblem characters. I was playing this, and the whole time, Charles, I was thinking of your complaints about Persona 4. Because you said it's so dumb that there's no random encounters, it's so dumb you see the enemies, and it's like they either attack you or you attack them, or whatever. Charles, this game does something you probably would even hate even more.
Okay.
So, at first you think, okay, you might have random encounters, because you go through a dungeon and there's no enemies there. But they do spawn random enemies that just pop up from the ground, but they will have to come to you to engage. Like, it's that same kind of thing, but if you attack them, it swats them away and stuns them so you can walk past them. So it gives you a system where you could just avoid attack, like, the encounters completely.
Yeah.
However, the one thing I think you might like, though, that it has something you'd probably despise, but the combat itself is actually kind of interesting. It actually is. It's not as simple as Persona 4, where it's like, just use one mores and weaknesses.
Yeah.
It plays that a little bit, but it adds a layer to it where it's like, if you land a weakness, they do this thing called like sessions where you have like a party of 3. If you land a critical or a weakness, another party member might also like stack on top of it, then combo another character into it. Like
Sure.
And that could be the same for enemies. Enemies could do that to you as well. So there is a layer of like difficulty in like what you can do, and sometimes doing a session may not be worth it. So there is some kind of interesting gameplay mechanics with it, and the leveling system is also pretty good too. Like you get more interesting stats that are more customizable, to a point. So there is stuff that is interesting, but there is stuff that you would also despise as well. I think this game would probably have more stuff you hate than like. I think all the stuff you dislike in Persona is amped up in this, because the anime shit in Tokyo Mirage Sessions is like turned up to 11, where it even has like lollies in it. Like there's a character that's like, I am a goddess, and I'm like, she looks like a fucking 9-year-old, and she's like, I'm
2,700 years old. I
There's
hate that.
the only thing there is no like romance. I don't. Well, actually, no. I don't even remember because I haven't talked to her recently because I think I would like to say there's no like romantic tension between the main character and that, thankfully, but I don't remember and I don't want to even think about it. But I was playing this and I was thinking to myself like, why haven't I like gone back to this game in years? Like I bought this game when it released and I dropped and I haven't gone back to it. And I played. I was like, yeah, this game is kind of like there. The story is it's not even interesting. It's like, yeah, these monsters show up and they're trying to steal talent from people.
What does
Okay,
that mean?
like, hey, if you're a singer, they'll just take your voice away. It's like,
Ugh.
oh, okay, like I don't care. It's just it's whatever. The only thing I liked was like the combat and the Fire Emblem characters. The way they designed the Fire Emblem stuff is pretty interesting.
It was actually Fire Emblem characters?
It was a crossover, yeah.
What? Wait a second. Fire Emblem is like set in like medieval times or
Yeah,
something,
but
right?
this was the way they explained it was that it's so anime like convoluted trope. It's like this crosses dimensions and like this bad guy is like splitting dimensions to do what he wants and that's what happens. That's what happened. It's like okay. Sure. It's that kind of shit like
The fact that it's a crossover is interesting to me, but
I
I might do myself a favor and never look this up.
it's the thing is that it's an interesting game. It's kind of good and kind of fun, but it's just that the story is like no, like I don't care about the story. Like Persona, I at least cared about what was going on. This, like, I just kind of don't care. I do like the music. The music's pretty good. It's just J-pop shit, which is like whatever, but it's kind of good. Like it remixes the Fire Emblem theme with it, which is
Mm.
kind of cool too. So it's a good like thing. There's a lot of good stuff put into it. It's just I don't like the story, and Fire Emblem has good stories too. So like just they could have just went with like, hey, let's do a turn-based Fire Emblem game and just do that. Like they could have just done that, and they didn't. But whatever. It's a whatever game. Like it was on Wii U, so I think a lot of stuff from the Wii U just it's whatever. It's okay. It's just a little too weeby. The other thing I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about was on the flight back, I played a game. Oh my god, Charles, I love this game. No More Heroes 3.
Oh.
This game
Okay.
is fucking brilliant. I love this game. I really like I was kind of nervous when they first announced this game. I first saw the trailer. I was like, I don't think I'm going to like this game because it had aliens in it and it's like because the thing I like about No More Heroes is that it's zany and like stupid and whatever, but it has like these human characters that are like very odd in all this. So when I saw aliens, it's like, okay, aliens, all right. But the movie the game just made me love it. I loved everything about it, and it has the same tropes that Suda has in all his games, where
Mhm.
each boss has a different gimmick all the way through. Like nothing's the same. So like the first boss fight is like is a typical boss fight. The second one, it's like okay, you're doing like magnet shit, but then like it gets to the point where there's one where you play musical chairs with the boss, and
Okay.
I was thinking, I was like, wait, what? What? Like, this is the fight? You're just. It's a rhythm game, so you're just like going with the rhythm, and when the music stops, you have to run to a chair. And if you don't get a chair, you just die. You have to start over from the last checkpoint, whatever. And I was like, this is. No game would do that. Where it's like, yeah, play musical chairs. This is the fight. But. So there's that. And then there's this one fight where it literally is like this. It starts off with this character, the boss fight, just walking like for 5 minutes to get to the player, and Gene is like, "This guy is taking very long. Why is he walking so long?" He's like, "Hey, maybe he had a long day. He's a big guy. These things take time. Calm down. when we get antsy is when we lose the fight, whatever. He gets there and he's like, all right, let's start this fight as a turn-based JRPG, my favorite
Oh
game.
yes.
And Trav's like, what the fuck is this? I can't move. I can't move my beam katana. This sucks. I am action or a GTFO. It's like, oh, you like action games? Like, they have a whole conversation about JRPGs.
That's hilarious.
It's so good. Like, and Travis like, yeah, when I played a JRPG, when I played blank, like they censored the game. Like he would say a word and they bleep it
Oh
out. So I feel like you could put any game in there. It could be Final Fantasy, Persona, and it fits perfectly because it says, yeah, everyone and their mother could like blank, but their characters look like blank shit as shit. It's like, okay, all
yeah.
right. It's like, yeah,
Could
it
be anything.
sucks. Yeah, I love it. It's like, yeah, I get it. But you're trying to impose what you like onto me, and that's wrong. Like so, it's such a good, clever like commentary on like how gamers are not patient for turn
Right.
based, and that's how it starts. It starts with this guy taking 5 minutes to get to the stage, and then Travis just tells him, yeah, it took you like 5 minutes to get here. Gamers don't like waiting, and they could have scrapped this game. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry, gamers. You don't have to get that far. I mean, it's okay, but like, cut this shit. All right, let's do it. Let's take turns. This sucks. I'm action all the way, whatever. So the game forces you to do an actual JRPG like turn-based fight. And I love the gags. If you try to summon, like if you summon like Ifrit, it literally just tells you, oh yeah, Ifrit got held up in traffic, so he can't make it. It's like, oh okay. You try something else. Oh yeah, the Knights of the Round Table are still holding a meeting in overtime, so it didn't show up.
If those are the summons, definitely trying to make fun of Final Fantasy then,
Yeah,
because those are the classic Final Fantasy summons.
I, I do think it's more to Final Fantasy, but I think you'd also like account to anything else.
Right. I mean, they all have the same conventions and tropes.
Yeah.
Now, you know what's an interesting thing, and maybe you've seen what Suda has to say about this. But how did he decide that this would be enough? Like, why is Travis Strikes Again titled as such, and No More Heroes 3 is No More
Oh my
Heroes
god,
3?
you know what this is another thing I love. I fucking love Suda for this. Any other game company that does a spin-off title always ignores it. It's like, yeah, this is a spin-off, whatever. It's just in its own little universe or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, it's between these two games and no one cares.
Right.
Travis Strikes Again was like, oh yeah, it's titled that way because it's not a traditional No More Heroes game. It's because it's a homage to indie games. It's like a visual novel. It has like each game world is a different kind of game completely. So it's not a true sequel to No More Heroes. It's like a standalone thing in the presentation of gameplay. When you play No More Heroes 3, I kind of feel Suda51 just when it like, yeah, these fuckers think that Travis Strikes Again is optional. Fuck them. The first like minute literally dispense nothing but references Travis Strikes Again. It references characters, events, everything. And it's just like, this is great. Like, because like Bad Girl dies in No More Heroes 1. Travis Strikes Again, if you haven't played it, you wouldn't have known that Bad Girl comes back to life in that game. Like the whole story in Travis Strikes Again is that Bad Man is trying to revive his daughter. So in No More Heroes 3, she just shows up and they don't explain why she's there. It's like, yeah, here's a Bad Girl. She's there. It's like, what? And then like
right.
it has no chill with that. The other thing I fucking love is Travis Strikes Again calls out like there's that character I think Gene says it. Gene's the cat that talks in Travis Strikes Again and says like, yeah, the gamers don't like reading. This was a mistake to make it a visual novel. It's like, well, this is a side game. No one cares. Whatever. This game references the visual novel. It does it again in some cases. So this
Yeah.
game just it just doesn't give a fuck. And the thing I
Right.
love about it is it also does a very like it's so clever in commentating like just franchises. Because if you look at like the logo itself, just the logo looks so cheap. Just No More Heroes 3, and it just looks like they just pasted a Roman numeral 3 onto it. So
Right.
like, and then it's like, oh yeah, the aliens, they try to up the stakes by going to space and all this stuff, and it's just like, this is so stupid. And by the end of the game, it's like the the ending. I loved the ending as well, where it's just like, again, it ties back to Travis Strikes Again. Because it's like, one of the key things was a character in Travis Strikes Again, which is Professor Juvenile, was a game developer that was forced out of her company by some other guy. And that guy was the main villain of No More Heroes 3, which they never tell you. No More Heroes 3 just throws a fake villain at you. And I knew the twist because like, at the beginning of each rank mission, you see like a discussion between like the alien guy Fu and his friend Damon. And the first few fights, they're like, Fu's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill Travis, and Damon, his friend's like, yeah, you are, yeah, fuck Travis, okay, like they're kind of like on equal terms. Around like rank 6 or so, like Damon starts getting very dismissive of Fu. Fu's like, we need to kill him. It's like, your guys have not killed Travis, huh? Yeah, you guys suck. You guys like are supposed to be like the most powerful things, and you can't beat this guy. Yeah, you're fucking stupid. It's like, there's this weird like power play going on, and Damon's slowly like just shitting on Fu to the point where he kind of wants him dead. Uh, so it's like, by the end, you find out that Damon was the guy that forced Juvenile out of her company to like get more power or whatever from the death machine. It's just that kind of shit I just loved, and it has like the same Killer 7 kind of nonsense where it has this one segment which feels so like from Killer 7. It just feels like it gets the same idea. So you have this boss fight with Travis's brother, Henry, which you find out at the end of the first game. You kill him, and then like you literally decapitate Henry. And then like the following cutscene, you see Henry in the motel room again. And it's like, what? Like, okay.
Can I just kill you?
Yeah, like, and then it's like, alright, save your game. And Travis is like, alright, I'm saving my game. Wait a second, did anyone test this? There's a glitch here. I can't like save my game. What the fuck? Henry comes in with all these other versions of Henry. They fucking kill Travis like 1,000 times. Just kill him. And then you're forced to play a game called Deathman. And then you beat that. It gets so fucking surreal, and then after that is just, it shows like Travis in a coffin, like wanting to get out. It's like, this shit feels like it's like from Killer 7. It just feels like that. That's how weird and like gonzo that whole segment is. But it just has this like passion about like games and the relationship that people have. Like, the game starts like, you could tell that no one told Suda51 how to make this game. Like, no one was tapping him on the shoulder like, hey, no,
This is what you have to do, right?
yeah, they just let him go wild.
Complete control.
Yeah, like the beginning just starts with Travis is watching YouTube videos of this game called Deathman, and it's like, it is him saying like, yeah, I remember when I was a kid, there was a game called Deathman. No one knew of this game. No one liked this game. Everyone didn't care about this game, but I played it, and it was really cool. Like, and this is like the shit that everyone has. Like, oh yeah, this game is like really like indie. It's cool, whatever. It's like, yeah, and at the end of Deathman, you find out who Deathman is. But I never found out because I fell asleep at the end of the game. So the mystery of Deathman eluded me until they remade the game, and then I played the game. And then it just kind of ends there. It's like, it's so like weird, and it just starts you off with doing a game of Deathman, where it's just an 8-bit side-scrolling beat-em-up game. When you beat the game, they give you the full game to play. So I'm like, I wonder if I beat Deathman, they'll show you the identity of Deathman, and that'll be its own thing as well. Like, it's so weird that they just they take so much time to build up Deathman, and then they don't tell you who it is in the game.
Yeah, I might have to buy a Switch just to play this game because it's not on anything else, right?
I don't think so. I think Marvel has published this, so it might go to Steam later, maybe. like maybe a few years
I'll have to
later or
figure that out.
something. But the other thing it also makes another homage to Travis Strikes Again. There's a scene in Travis Strikes Again where he goes. I can't remember the name of the game that he goes to because it's an actual indie game he visits.
Mhm.
But there's a scene where he sits there and he chills with the main character of that game, and he's like, "Yeah, this is pretty relaxing. I like the smoke you're having, whatever." Like he's just chilling with him. He's like, "Yeah, it's a shame you can't stay here." And Travis like, "Yeah, I know I can't stay here." He's like, "Yeah, go back home." So that character in that game like kills him and like decapitates him. His head floats up into the sky, and he goes back to reality. In this game, when Henry kills him, you play Deathman, and at the end, you see Travis meets with Deathman. Deathman does the same shit, just uppercuts him, sending his head up into the sky, and he comes back to life. But the other thing I love about this is that also at the beginning of each rank, there's also a segment where it's him and his best friend Bishop, where they just sit on the couch and talk about Miike films. Every the
So
beginning,
what? AK?
Takashi Miike.
I don't know.
Oh,
What's the film they've done?
he's a Japanese filmmaker. I think he did a Gundam movie. He did a lot of he did like Dead or Alive uh
Ugh,
as well. Like so the
that's a
beginning of
shitty movie.
the beginning of each game of each like thing is just them like gushing about Miike. It's like, yo, yeah, Miike did this one thing that was like a license property, but it opened the door for him to do more stuff, and it's just them like nerding out about it. I kind of like those little segments. It was done like a CRT TV, and it's just him talking about it. And then like occasionally you have like these other characters like intervene. Like they ask like Shinobu, like, "Oh, what's your favorite Miike film?" Well, I don't really watch like G-Force stuff. Whoa, G-Force? Yeah, like this stuff? No, just this one movie that has cool like samurai action. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like it's one of those games where it's like the same thing with like Swery, where they just write stuff that they really like in their games. Like, hey, I like this thing,
Reference it.
but in
Yeah.
yeah. So like, there's a lot of love in this, and the thing that also like that I just love that the credit sequence is them they reference Deus Ex Machina in it, where it's like this big like machine like mech fight, and they just reference a mech from that game. It's like, oh okay. Uh,
Just in the game.
yeah, because like there's this big like enemy, and Trevor's like, "How can we fight it?" And Gene's like asking like, "Why don't you like summon this robot from No More Heroes 2?" And it's like, "I can't. It has all this dark matter. It's fucked up. Got decommissioned. Can't do it." And then this thing comes from another dimension, and it's like, "Oh, it's from Ex Machina. Whoa!" And then you just fly that thing. It's like, okay, like whatever.
So funny.
It's rad. The whole game, like I can honestly gush about this game for like 10 hours. It's so fucking good. The combat is insanely good too. It's way better. Like it's much more deep and complex.
Yeah. Cool.
So that's the game I've
So
been playing. What have you been playing?
exactly. Like I said at the beginning, I haven't played video games in like a month. The last thing I played was Disgaea 5. I talked about it briefly before. I love the gameplay, but it is some ultimate embarrassingly anime shit. Like Disgaea is a turn-based strategy RPG, like kind of like Fire Emblem, and it's got some humor in it. I played the first two games, and they were like pretty funny, but this one is fucking awful. It's just, it's like anime humor, but like it's like like the old games would like lampshade all the tropes and like make fun of them, and now it's just like any typical like anime humor. That's just what it is. It's like there's one character and she's like super vain and she's like all men worship me and she's just annoying, and then there's one guy that's just a big dumbass and he's like, yeah, like we'll break shit and that's how we're gonna solve every problem, and then there's one like intellectual guy. It's just super cookie cutter crap, but the game is awesome. But I haven't played it in a while, so that's all I have to say.
Oh man,
We should
like
talk about what we want to play now.
yeah. I was heavily considering just saying we should play Wonderful 101 and just play that.
Okay, so we should have a backup because I have to say I do not have So I'm in between. I'm gonna move back to my house. So I have a bunch of things stored there, but I have a tenant there right now. So I'm in a temporary situation. So I do not have my main gaming setup.
Ah, okay.
So if Wonderful 101 will run on my old laptop, you can play it. If not, we have to find a backup.
Okay, all right. Well, what can be played on your setup now? Like if you
I don't know. It's very hit or miss. Like it's literally a decade old laptop. I've been able to play
hmm.
very recent games on it,
Oh, okay. Well,
but
that should
I
be
don't know.
fine. That should be fine then because that it's a Wii U game.
I know.
So,
We'll see though.
I mean
I'll give it a try.
if the Switch can run it, I'm sure your PC can run it.
I'll try to run it, but let's think. Okay, if there was a backup game, what would you have?
Would
Something like low spec or maybe indie would be good.
mm,
And I'm gonna be honest, I haven't even thought about what I wanted to play either.
man. Let's see. Let's see. What could be a good game? Uh,
let me. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Let me look up the system requirements for Wonderful 101 right now.
could you run? Well, maybe you can run like Hotline Miami. So maybe we could just like
Oh,
do that.
absolutely. Why replace Hotline Miami? You're saying?
Yeah, like I've been kind of wanting to go back to that game as well.
Oh, never mind. My computer 1,000% could run this. This has low specs.
All right.
Yeah, because I have got at least 8 gigs of RAM. It has a 4 gigabyte graphics card. Got an i5 or an i7, and it can run this.
Or
No problem.
what
Done.
you could also do, you could also do what's it called? The Silver Case. It's a visual novel, so it has very minimal gameplay, and we could talk about the story. We could just focus on the story of like it's Suda 51's like beginning stuff.
Fuck that.
The other thing I was gonna mention about No More Heroes 3 was there's another boss fight that I fucking loved was so they mentioned this name called Kimmy Love, and I was like, this name sounds familiar. I can't like put my finger on it. Like I don't know if I should know this name. I don't know. Uh, the intro is a rap battle between like Kimmy Love and Travis, and through this rap battle, I was like, oh, is this character from No More Heroes 2? Like this character is a character you could play No More Heroes 2 and completely miss. She was an
That's
optional
hilarious.
because she was an optional boss fight because she was like a up and coming like assassin. So it's like, yeah, she wants to fight you. You could avoid it completely and beat the game or fight her. And I just love that fight is fun. It's just the last phase of it is so fucking annoying because it pulls away and you're like in a stage camera. So you're just like at ants at this point fighting. It kind of sucked, but I liked the rap because it was so stupid. And the thing that it's she has a line that says grow up and kill the past, which has been a running theme with Suda 51's games. Every
Hmm.
bit of his game has to deal with like kill the past. So like her rap is just blatantly saying kill the past. Like that's like what she wants to do because she wants to kill Travis for like because he did a power bomb to her to knock her out because he was like, you're too young, I'm not gonna kill you. Just get after you graduate, then come find me and we'll settle this or whatever. So she wants to settle it now. But that kind of shit I love. Like all these fake outs. And so many people I feel got upset with the ending. No More Heroes 3 ends with a bullshit cliffhanger. Because it ends with like them saying like, oh, there's this big like climactic like end of the world thing happening. And then it just ends. It's like so that's it. Like and I think it's literally to like to make fun of like these superhero movies. Like
Yeah.
the whole game just is a big jab at it because it starts off with like them building up like the aliens as superheroes. Like the alien, like Fu comes to Earth and says, "We heard superheroes are big on this planet, so that's what we're gonna do. We're a goddamn superhero." So it's like okay, and they have like Travis. that represents No More Heroes, and it has a scene where it's kind of dumb symbolism, but it has like the logo of No More Heroes and a logo of like goddamn superhero, just like kind of clash it with
Mhm.
each other, and like No More Heroes is reign supreme on top of it, indicating it's the end of superheroes. Fuck them. And it just
Right.
and that the whole movie has like it just keeps bringing up like this is a franchise. We're so big right now. Look how cool this is. And it's like okay, like Sylvie can fly now. All this stuff is happening. Like how big this is. Like it seems so cartoonishly big and like epic that it just seems like it's just a jab at just the whole idea that the third thing in a franchise is this big climactic end of the world thing. Like so I just feel like all these people are reading the ending as like there's gonna be a fourth game. There's gonna be. It's like no that's like the point. It's supposed to make
No,
you
there's
think
not.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it reveals like more to it with like chibi characters at the end, and it's like this is so stupid. There's no way this is like they over animate a villain. Like they make him so hyper realistic. They kill him immediately, and then like you go to Travis and he's like this little like chibi character that's like what the fuck? What the? Okay, enough of this. It's like, all right, this is like really dumb and convoluted. Like, they introduced time travel, and it's like, okay, sure,
Yeah. But it's Suda, man. Who knows?
yeah. I think I just love like the other thing. This hopefully the last thing I'll say about it is the way they design Henry in this game. He was designed by the guy who did the Silver Case, so his design is so like out of place almost in terms of everything in the game. Like he seems off. He's so like hyper serious and dark and like fucked up. Like it fits in like a Silver Case game almost because of
Mhm.
how like weird those games get. But it's so fucking good. I everything about this game I just love. It has everything I love from Suda 51. Like everything I could ask for. It's like it it's the only games that he did sequels for, and it makes me wonder if because he has said in the past he would love to do more. Like he would love to add to Killer 7. Like he would love to do another game that adds to that to that game. And I'm like, if this was what he did with No More Heroes, I would love to see what he would do to Killer 7 if he did a sequel because he rarely does them. And it's like, if this is what he does with sequels, just this weird like shit. Killer 7 sequels would probably be even more weird than Killer 7.
Yeah. Well, I hope. I mean, I think there's hope for a Killer 7 sequel.
Yeah, like because
I
he said something like interesting, like when the remaster was like happening, he was like, "Yeah, if this sells enough, like there could be more." Like he would love to go back to it.
Well, he said. I don't know if you saw. I don't know where I saw this, but he said something about making a like complete version where he gets to this do all the shit that he wanted to do that got cut. I think that would be very interesting.
You know what's funny? I was reading because I was talking about this on Twitter, and I was like saying like there's all like the that rap battle. I was saying like so much in that song has so much I love about No More Heroes 3. Like just it represents everything I love about No More Heroes as a franchise from Suda. And then someone was like saying like, yeah, there's like more lore on like all these other boss characters that were cut from the game. Like there was a boss character named Mimidori that ties with another character from Travis Strikes Again, and there was way more stuff between those two characters that were cut from the game. And it's like I would love to see what all this stuff was. And what I was hearing is like it's way more interesting. Like there was much more like there was a segment where Travis broke like infiltrated a prison. He broke out this one character that played a role in a boss fight or something. It's like that would have been rad. And it's like this is just the stuff I've only heard about that was cut. And it's like I would love to see what was cut from this game to see what would happen. Okay, you know
Yeah.
what? We did get someone in chat saying some bullshit. Yoshi,
Okay.
always saying bullshit in my chat. What else is new? It says make itself look big and epic, and the maps are big and barren. Okay, Yoshi, load up No More Heroes 1. It's on the Switch and it's on Wii. It's on PS3. Load that game up and then play No More Heroes 3. And you tell me what open world is barren, because No More Heroes 3's maps, they are all like each map is like its own little world. There's like Santa Destroy, Perfect World, and all this stuff. They have people, they have cars. It's like stupid and like fluff bullshit. But it's like,
I don't know, man. Starting to sound like Devil May Cry too.
no, because you don't. Because here's the thing about the open world. You're not playing No More Heroes for the open world. It's just there to get you to the point A to point B. I like the style. Like, you can plant trees, you can grow, you can climb the trees to get XP. You can do wave battles. You can like find hidden items. You can find like these hidden characters that are from Travis Strikes Again. There's all these things. New Brazil, okay, that place rules. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Thunderdome, okay, the beginning of it is a desert. You know what Thunderdome is from, Yoshi? It's a little movie. You might want to check it out called Mad Max Battle in the Thunderdome. Are you gonna say that movie is in like? I guess that movie is barren. It sucks. So
Yeah, probably.
you know, I did.
They probably would say that.
I have an art book for Mad Max Fury Road, and I love that art book. The first page has George Miller talking about like his films. Like, yeah, Mad Max was this. Mad Max was about oil, and then he says like, oh yeah, the third film is about pig poop. And I was
Pig.
like, it had something to do with like manure. Like they were fighting over poop, and I was like, what? Like
That doesn't sound right.
it. That's what he wrote. Like, I have to go downstairs to get that art book. But he said that, and like he was like talking about the core things that he wanted to talk about in the movies, and he was saying like, yeah, this is this movie. Like the first movie was about humanity. The second movie they were fighting over oil. The third movie, yeah, they were in a dome fighting over poop, and then the fourth movie was about water. It's like, I kind of want to know more about Battle in the Thunderdome. Because I wonder if there was something going on, and he was just like, "Fuck it, they're fighting over poop." Like, it just sounds like he just was like he might have been upset with Warner Brothers and was like, "Okay, you want me to make a third movie? Oh, right, they're gonna fight over poop. Fuck it." Like, he probably wrote Mad Max as a 2-movie thing, and then Warner Brothers like, make a third one. Come on. He's like, oh,
All right, fine.
want a
They're
third
fighting
movie?
over pig shit.
Yeah, like that's probably what it is.
Was it the third one? Was Welcome to the Thunderdome?
I think it was Battle in the Thunderdome.
People love that one.
I don't
So-
know. Like, I don't think I've heard anyone love that movie. You're the
Really?
first. Yeah, like I've
Maybe
heard.
I'm thinking of the second one then.
Yeah, because that Mad Max 2, I think I heard a lot of people like. 2 they liked. Fury Road people liked, and it's kind of a bummer. There could have been a 5th movie, but George Miller was like, "Yeah, Warner Brothers still owes me for the for money." Like, because he had a contract with Warner Brothers that said like, if you make this movie under budget, like you make it like this under the budget or whatever, we'll pay you like double,
Mhm.
and royalties or whatever. He does that, and then they're like, yeah, we're not doing that.
Of course.
And he's like,
Dirtbags.
okay, yeah, they're not gonna do that. Okay, no 5th movie. I'm not doing it. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah. All right. So Wonderful 101. This has been the longest not game club ever. We didn't talk about
actually,
games at all.
well, I mean, I guess in terms of like scaling of games, yeah, but it isn't. It's still not our longest game club video.
Yeah, I know.
This is an hour and 33 minutes. I kind of thought it was longer than what it was. I was like, oh shit, it's gonna be like 4 hours, but it actually was like way under than what I was expecting. So that made me happy. But
Well, now you have to say welcome to Big Bun Game Club and then also bye at the same time.
all right. Oh, before I even end, I will say two big announcements. I'll make it the next week's episode. The next week's episode, we're gonna do like an actual pre-show where we just kind of sit and shoot the shit. They'll be like 15 minutes long or whatever. That pre-show will not be archived in any form. It will only be archived if you're a Twitch sub or a patron pledge. Like if you pledge my Patreon, you will get access to the pre-show. So that'll be next week's episode. Will be like the pre-show will be free to stream. Like you'll watch it regardless. But if you miss it, Patreon or Twitch subs, you'll get that. I have a sub goal, 50 subs, and I'll do a whole like digital canvas of all my subs just chilling. I'll do that. Same on my Patreon. place as well. I have a 50 patron goal there as well. So pick your poison. Patreon, Twitch subs. You get something out of it. You will get the PNG of both the work in progress and the final canvas of it. So that's what's going on. That's the sub goal. Thanks for watching this week's episode.
Wait, I also have a request.
Oh shit!
I also have a request. Please talk more shit in the comments. I like when Theo gets riled up.
Yeah, the interaction's been bad. Like we got like someone says, DJ. We got clarity, by the way. DJ Filthy Rich said not sarcastic about him liking Saw. That's fine. You can like Saw. I don't think less of people who like Saw. I think less of people who what was it? There was one thing. Can't think of it. Because it's not important.
Who cares?
Who cares? Tokyo Mirage Sessions is great. Fuck the haters. Yoshi, I mean, I'm not that passionate about Tokyo Mirage Sessions, so I'm not, not really working it. And then Storm says, Charles, no, they're so different. Each one has its own personality.
Which, talking about what?
I think it's Persona.
Oh, the different games? I bet they do, but all I'm saying is that the one that everyone loves sucks.
I think like Persona 3 you might like in the sense of like there's no it doesn't have a lot of the anime bullshit in it. Like Persona 4 was really the one game that just threw all that into the game. Like it's all anime in that game. 3 is a little bit more like the characters are actually like honest characters. Like they all have flaws and all this stuff. The one thing I think that might break it to you is that it doesn't have random encounters. So you still have that same kind of like encounter system.
I don't need random encounters, but like the thing that bothered me about Persona 4 was it's so easy to just game. It's like it's so easy to game the system.
Yeah.
Like I get a preemptive strike literally every single time. There's RPGs I like that are not random encounters. Like Chrono Trigger is amazing.
Yeah.
There's no random encounters there. Like Grandia 2 is amazing. No random encounters. But it's just it's that Persona 4 and its JRPG-ness is so babyish that I'm like, this fucking... I played it for the JRPG-ness.
Yeah.
And then I looked it up and everyone's like, that's the worst part. I'm like, so then what do you play this for? These fucking shitty cutscenes? This stinks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, with Persona 3, it's like, there is ways you could game random encounters because you could change your weapon. So you could have, like, a bow and arrow. So you can, like, snipe enemies to start a encounter, pretty much. So you could do that. The only thing that throws a wrench in it is if let's say they ever port Persona 3 to Steam and they port the PS2 version, which is FES. The party system in that game is
you program them, right?
Yeah, they're all AI, so you can't game the AI, but it's just then it runs you thinking like, is it hard because of the enemy, or is it hard because the characters are not doing what I want them to do? Like,
right.
But for me, it's odd because I kind of find it endearing. It's like it kind of makes the fight more memorable. Like it's kind of fucked up. It's like I get why people won't like it, but it's like it makes the fights much more like, wow, they did everything I want them to. Oh, and I landed everything. I got everything I wanted. Hell yeah! Like it just heightens the satisfaction. But I do get where it's like you question the challenge of that game.
Right.
But
that's what I'm saying. That's what bothers me. It's like
I will stand.
If it's too easy. It's too easy.
I will stand on the ground. I think you'd like Persona 2. That game it's so weird in every way. Like 3 is a little bit more grounded. It tells a story and it's like straightforward. 2, it's so fucking weird and the gameplay is good. Like it's you get to combo attacks that might be a combo party attack that's like unique or whatever. It has unique conversation abilities. Like it's the most Shin Megami Tensei Persona game. Like it's so heavy in that because there's also a conversation skill that you get as well, which also is unique. Like Persona 2 is very interesting. The only thing that I think sucks is that the way they released the game is unfair because in America they only got part 2 of Persona 2.
Mm.
Part 1 never came to America. It only came out on the PSP, which depending on how that plays might ruin part 2 because part 2 is older and the PSP ones were modernized. It's going to be like it's like
You
writing with
want
your
all
left
the
hand.
modern enhancements when you play the second one.
Yeah, it's like if you
Yeah.
played Persona 4 Golden and went to Persona 4, it's like this
Right.
is going to be ass backwards and shitty. Like again,
Right.
like what you described for Persona 4 Golden, I was like, this should have been in my game. Like half the
Right.
shit you said was in Persona 3, and it's not in Persona 4, and Persona 4 sucks. Like I was so close to doing a video of Persona 4 like yesterday, and then it's like I'm not gonna fucking do it today. And it's like I want to do this video because that game I just want to describe how shitty it is compared to these other games. Persona 5 is way better. It's a better game every way. It has its flaws. Not my favorite game, but it's better than 4. 4 is trash. Like literally, if 4 was my first game I played, if I listened to the meme of like, "Oh, play 4, a great game," I would have never touched Persona after that. Like 4
Yeah.
is so fucking bad. I hated it. I like
We're never gonna hear the end of fucking Persona on this thing, are we?
no. It's a staple. These people came for the game club. They stay for the Persona 4 trash. Yoshi says 4 is good. You hater. I mean,
I am a hater. Fuck Persona 4.
oh man. Oh god. But anyway, there's also wait. Hold up. We got more. Now we got more people talking. Of course, this always happens. Even when I stream, I'm ready to wrap it up. Everyone starts talking. It's Gonzo land. You can't judge Persona 4 until you watch Persona 4 Golden anime. That might be true. The anime might be good. I will say
Well, here's the
the
thing.
anime might be good.
I haven't even beat Persona 4. I stopped after the part where you go to that like party and they're like, "We're drunk." I was like, "This fucking sucks." And they start talking about like anime girl boobs. I was like, "Fuck this game."
Dude, that part is like the worst, but like, oh my god, the story gets so dumb. Like after that, again, the Adachi twist is so annoying. Like I was like fine with the twist itself. It's fine, but then it gets dumb. It's like, yeah, I'm the
But
killer because she wouldn't sleep with me. It's like,
let's take this whole thing full circle. Remember when we were talking in the beginning about shows that have great twists? And it's
yeah,
like, oh wow, like you can now look at this with a whole new frame of reference and like
yeah.
you get something new out of it. This fucking twist makes no sense.
Uh,
Like it when you start
mm,
the story over, it's not like, oh wow, they were hinting at it the whole time. It's just like, I'm the killer. Fuck this game.
I mean, kinda, because the thing is that like they're between this and Persona 5 with Akechi, because Akechi they kind of do the same kind of twist. The only thing is I will say they give Kechi a better motive. Akechi has a good motive to being the bad guy or a bad guy. But with 4, they played it so that like yeah, Dachi's an incompetent detective. He sucks at his job. He's so dumb. Look how dumb he is. Like that's kind of what they play with him. But it's and it's why like I kind of get why people like the twist where it's like I kind of get why people like it. It's like it's
But let me stop you because there's nothing to be like, oh wow, that's clever. He was pretending to be dumb. It's just like he's dumb. There's not like,
well no,
wow, I saw this coming.
it's not that he pretends that he's dumb. It's just that he's honest in what he's doing because because he's intentionally giving like because he didn't know at the time that the kids he was talking to was the people going into the TV, but he knew that they were interested in the case, so he was giving them information, just to pit them against the detectives. Like he just liked the chaos of these kids trying to solve it with the detectives and all this shit
Yes.
going on. Like, which I like that part of it. It's like cool, okay, he likes chaos, great, but the second he was like, yeah, I started killing because that girl just wouldn't let me date her. It's like, this is the motive of everything. Like every scene they showed was like it always like, "Hi, Saki, the first girl that dies in the game. Why don't you like me? What?
Peter,
Like
don't defend this
I'm
on
not.
any level. This is drivel.
I'm
It's
not.
drivel.
I'm not defending. If you listen, Charles, I said it's bullshit. I said I like Adachi as a chaos guy, but when he was like saying like these girls won't sleep with me, I kill them. It's
But that's
dumb.
what I'm saying. His
It's
motivation
dumb.
makes no sense.
It
And there's
doesn't.
nothing like there's not even anything in his story when he's like interacting where he like has resentment towards women. He's just a bumbling asshole. It stinks.
Yeah. Well, but that's that. But that's what I mean. Like before they gave that motivation away when they said, "Oh, he killed these girls because of this and that." Before
That's my
that,
point.
yeah, but the motive of chaos and like I wanted to pit these people against each other was it was interesting on a level that was interesting. It just
But
didn't
they
pay
throw it out,
off.
so it doesn't matter. Just
Yeah.
like everything else. Just like, oh, Kanji might be gay. Actually, he's not. What?
Well, I'm just saying like
It stinks.
there's things I like that just the game just doesn't stop when it's ahead. And then like the thing like you can like something and say it's bad as well. You know,
No,
there's
but I'm saying you're saying you like his motivation of being like this chaotic character, but that's not his motivation because they say actually it's because he can't get laid.
well
What the fuck?
well no, I meant as like if it was just that. Like if it was that I would have liked
But that's
it.
not what happened.
I know. That's why I don't
It's
like
crap.
that's why Persona 4 sucks. I would have liked it if this thing didn't happen and it happened. But
So you're saying so if it was a completely different thing, you would enjoy it.
yeah.
It stinks.
Yeah. It does. Like the other thing that was egregious to me was like the fucking galls that they had some guy in the writers room typed up then Adachi tells the main characters that they're like him and they're no better. And it's like the main characters who killed 0 people is as bad as a guy who killed like 3 people. Like it's just the logic. Like it just doesn't add up. It's like this is dumb. This is fucking stupid. Like the whole game, I was like, I didn't like this. It was dumb. I found it endearing in some cases, like whatever. But the second when Adachi shows himself to be the bad guy, and you get further more like it's like okay, and then it's like it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, and then like when you get to the true ending, it I just didn't give a shit. Like after that, I just kind of checked out. Like the third game, you're fighting fucking death, and that was cool. It's like this being is death. It wants to kill everything. It's all about death, and you're fighting it because you're accepting your mortality. It's like cool and badass. The fucking main boss, I don't understand the fucking point. It's like, yeah, like no one likes the truth, so I create this mist to blind everyone from the truth, and that's why people like it. It's like this is so convoluted. I don't give a shit, and like it doesn't make sense. Like it's one of these things. The more you think about it, the less sense it makes, and it's like
Exactly.
and I think 5 is an answer to that because 5 tells a much more coherent story. The story is much more focused. It's like
I will admit 5 looks fucking cool.
yeah,
And I'm tempted to play it, but I'm not gonna do it.
5 is a better game. I like it has like the same encounter system, but it throws a stealth twist to it where it's like, yeah, if you just run around and get caught, you get harder enemies as a punishment. Like it racks up the difficulty with it.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and like it's good. It's a good game. It's a good game, and everyone
I'm
that
never
says
gonna play it. I'm never gonna play it.
it's fine. I don't blame you. Like 5 does have a lot of anime bullshit in it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
but it's not as bad as 4, but it's there. It's there in the game. 4 cursed the franchise. 4 cursed it, sent it up.
I mean, people love it, man. People love it. So
that's why. Like I'm
I'm
telling
not
you,
interested.
like I was playing 4, and the whole time I'm saying them in the back of my mind, like I know for a fucking fact Atlas looked at this and was like, not a lot of people are playing Persona. Like Persona 3 probably had a niche audience. We need to open the market. Anime the fuck out of 4 and it will sell. And they did it, and it became a household. Yeah, like it made it for normies. And then like, and it just kills me that like these same people that bought that ran to 4 is like, oh, all these guys who like Persona 5 are normies. They like it because it's anime. It's like, dude, you like 4 because it's anime. Don't fucking lie to yourselves. The whole game
Stop
you
lying to
love,
yourself.
the whole game they love is about accepting the truth, and they're not accepting it. They like the game because it's anime. So they.
Hey, perfect statement to end it on.
Now let's
Thank
talk
you.
about Citizen Kane. All right, here we go. Citizen Kane is a movie. The Avatar of Death, please. Okay, so Yoshi is questioning me about this, about Persona 3. The first fight is the Avatar of Death, but you do fight the actual Death at the end. You go inside Death and you fight him. Yoshi, did you play Persona 3? It's in the credits.
Did you play Persona 3, Yoshi? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Citizen Game is a game. It's you know what? They should make a Citizen Kane game. It should be.
I bet they already did.
No, they didn't, because if they did, it would be a visual novel.
Some weirdo on the internet probably did.
Oh man, I'd love to see that.
If there is one, we're gonna play that. We're also gonna do that. That's gonna be a mini game club because I bet it's from some stupid. There you go. C. Kane on Steam. C. Kane is a satirical short form turn-based RPG.
That's not the same game though. That's not based on the movie.
It is.
Oh,
It's a shitty RPG Maker game.
oh, RPG Maker, that explains it.
This is hilarious.
You, I got it. You know, you should make a Twitch channel and then stream yourself playing that.
Citizen Kane.
Yeah, I'd be like, and that.
C. Kane.
Yeah, that could be your viral game. That could get you like noticed. Like you could be the next ninja with that game. Like you'll be making the big bucks. You could quit.
Can't fucking wait.
You could tell Google, I quit. I found my money in streaming C. Kane.
C. Kane.
The first day on the job, just yeah, filing my resignation papers. I found my true calling, C. Kane gameplay streams.
You know, it's got good reviews on here.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna play it.
You know what?
It's only. How about that'll be my report? I'll report. It's free to play on Steam. I will play this and I'll report back to how Citizen Kane for the video game is.
All right, it'll be like a spin-off. It'll be Charles Strikes Again, Big Bun Game Club. Like that. We'll have the same naming scheme as Suda 51, and then like the next episode of Big Bun Game Club will like reference that and act as if that was a big deal.
Done. All right, I got homework now.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you guys for watching. Oh, Angling says Ava is bad. No, Ava's great. It's great movie, great show, great everything. The perfect everything, obviously. And he also gifted a sub to Perez 15 minutes ago. Thank you for gifting the sub.
Oh wait, this is my favorite part though. Who are we gonna raid now?
Oh fuck, yeah, you're right. Who are we gonna raid?
How many people we got watching?
Let's see. We got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 13 homies.
That's pretty good. Oh, see if anyone's playing C. Kane. Just do C. Kane. It's C. Space Kane. And then raid that.
No one's streaming that.
Did it show up as a game on Twitch?
There's no directory for it. Nothing.
Oh, damn it. Okay, maybe, what else do we talk about? I guess we could raid a Wonderful 101 since that was what we're playing.
Yeah. Someone is streaming Danganronpa, but we're not doing that. That's it's an anime game. It's dumb. It's all right. It's even worse than Persona. Like if you think Persona 4 was like anime, oh man, let me tell you, that game is anime.
Raid a Wonderful 101.
No one is streaming that. What the fuck? No, it's not even showing up.
Well, then I guess it's got to be Travis Strikes Again, because that's the only other really.
No, we're gonna do something even. We'll do Devil May Cry 2. We'll still do that. We'll still do that game.
No one wants to watch that crappy game.
Damn it. Okay, fine. No.
How about okay, maybe Disgaea 5.
Okay, you know what? Token Mirage Sessions,
There you go.
Risque Kujikawa is streaming it. He's probably gonna speak Japanese. Maybe we'll learn something. Charles, you can watch this and see the game. You might be able to see. Wait a second.
I'm
Yeah,
not
it's the same
watching that
game.
shit.
You'll watch it and you'll be like, you know what? I'm buying a Switch for this specific game. I want to see the Lolly God do stuff.
Not a fucking chance.
All right, well, I tried Yoshi. Yoshi probably loves that game. He loves it. He plays it every night, probably.
Done.
Oh, and then Storm. Okay, Storm's doing Maruki Kazumi bullshit. Okay. Well, we're rating. 2 people are gonna raid apparently. 5, 7.
All right.
It's growing. The numbers are growing to 7. That's fine
Nice.
with me. Raid now.
I love a good raid. That's my favorite part of the whole thing.
I think that's it because I actually did a raid last time I streamed, and I think it takes my stream down, so that's good.